week on One Devotion. Meet a Euroleague big man who is both a rim rocker and a headbanger. See a world basketball legend honoured in the city that was his second home. Hear how a Euroleague rookie brought basketball to his family of sporting pros. And find out the names of the first qualifiers for the Euroleague playoffs next month. If you thought that heavy metal and basketball don't mix, then meet Deniz Keliçli, the Anadolu Efes Istanbul big man who loves his guitar and his basketball the same way, with the volume at 11.
Most of the time I like aggressive music because well, I like to play aggressive on the court, you know. So I think it's the same thing that drives me to music and basketball.
To say that Keliçli is devoted to both his sport and his music is an understatement.
Actually, I really thought about, you know, being a musician and, you know, basketball player because I like them both.
In the end, he chose basketball for a career, even though the passion for music ran in his family.
My dad is a huge rock and roll fan. I always was around good music, you know. I always was around Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, like a lot of those guys. We always had their CDs, Jimi Hendrix and all of them.
Keliçli can pinpoint his conversion as a rocker to the day he discovered a Guns N' Roses vinyl as a boy.
It had a real cool art thing on it, and I was like, I gotta listen to this. I didn't know how to play vinyl, so I put it on, and it started in the middle, and from now on, I'm listening to rock music because that blew my mind.
Keliçli did much more than listen. He began rocking himself too.
One of them, my first guitar was my uncle's guitar. It was a 12-string Yamaha guitar, and it was beat up. It really needed, you know, work on it. We took it to a shop. The guy did whatever he can, and I still play like that. Amazing sounding guitar. Put six strings on it because my hands were big, and it was really hard for me to, you know, do it.
Over time, while becoming a top basketball prospect, Keliçli kept learning guitar, and after he moved to the United States to play at West Virginia University, he returned with several more models of his favorite instrument.
My dad would send me money every month, and I would just, you know, don't do much and spend it, and then go buy a guitar.
That kind of sacrifice has since added up to a whole collection of guitars.
I mean, I got a lot of guitars, and I love them all. Everyone sounds different, everyone has a different place in my heart.
Whether basketball or rock and roll, Keliçli plays both for the same reason, to connect.
There's this thing in both of them that it is for people. If there's no people, there's no basketball, and there's no music. You know, there is music, but nobody will listen to you, so why do you do it? Anyways.
One place where basketball and music meet is with the Euroleague basketball anthem, Devotion. And that song too holds a special place for Keliçli.
I always had great memories with it because when I was little, I'd come to the games and watch our guys that played back then, and that song's always on. It's something like sometimes you hear some music from like 15 years ago, and it takes you back to that place. And it does that to me before every game. And I feel really proud of myself from becoming a Euroleague player, you know, because I was there on the stands watching and listening to that, you know, the Devotion song. And right now I'm warming up, and it's coming on. It's an amazing feeling. And it's a great song. It really pumps you up, gets you going.
History was made on Friday when the half-millionth point was scored since the Euroleague was founded in the year 2000. Good reason to look back at some of the many talents who contributed to this great milestone. It was a night to remember for a legend and his former club on Friday, when EA7 Emporio Armani Milan honoured the great Mike D'Antoni by retiring his number 8 at a half-time ceremony during the team's top 16 home game against Unicaja Malaga at Mediolanum Forum. D'Antoni arrived to Milan in 1977 with Italian ancestry and a West Virginia accent, then proceeded to wear the Olimpia Milano uniform for the next 13 seasons, until he finished his playing career in 1990 as the club's all-time leading scorer, assist maker and stealer, records that he holds until today. The highlights of his trophy-filled time there were Milano's back-to-back Euroleague titles in 1987 and 1988, with D'Antoni running the show as the consummate point guard and team leader. D'Antoni went on to start his distinguished coaching career with Milano, reaching the Euroleague Final Four in 1992 and winning the Korach Cup a year later. In the end, he spent nearly 2 decades in Milan, and on Friday the club and its fans welcomed D'Antoni back with open arms at a packed Mediolanum Forum. D'Antoni enjoyed a much-deserved encounter at centre court as his name and jersey were enshrined among all-time greats in a city that remains a world capital of basketball.
Voglio chiamare tutti I giocatori qui, dai, venite, perché senza di loro non esiste. Questi qui sono I migliori uomini che esistono e poi sono grandi amici, guarda, non faccio neanche un piccolo passo senza loro.
His number 8 will hang from the Mediolanum Forum ceiling, never to be worn again. But in his adopted city of Milan, one of the greatest players ever in Europe, Mike D'Antoni, will never be forgotten. Let's find out what happened in round 10 of the top 16. Real Madrid progressed into the playoffs, Barcelona defeated the champions, and Žalgiris and Crvena Zvezda ignited their playoff hopes. Knowing that a win would be enough to secure a spot in the next stage, Real Madrid never looked like getting anything else at home to Alba Berlin. A big first half from Rudy Fernandez sent Los Blancos on their way, and the hosts ended up with 11 different scorers in a resounding victory. Second place was up for grabs in the game of the week, and FC Barcelona held off champions Maccabi Electra to make that position their own behind Ante Tomic, who claimed his second weekly B-Win MVP award at the top 16. Žalgiris moved within a game of the playoff places by defeating Panathinaikos in Kaunas, using 18 points from Will Cherry to overcome 21 in defeat for Nikos Papas. Also back in the playoff race is Crvena Zvezda, which raced out to a big early lead against Galatasaray and never looked back. Jaka Blažić led the way with 19 points, while Stefan Jovic dished 8 assists. Madrid remains 2 games clear. Barcelona has cleared daylight ahead of Maccabi, and 4th place is well and truly up for grabs. Fenerbahce won on the road again. CSKA booked its playoff ticket, while Nizhny and Milan both moved firmly into contention for a place in the next round. A powerhouse battle between Olympiacos and Fenerbahce was close most of the way in Piraeus. But the red-hot Nemanja Bjelica and Andrew Gaudelok helped the Turkish team pull away in the final quarter to prolong an unbeaten run on the road, which stretches back to October. CSKA Moscow trailed early against Anadolu Efes as Nenad Kirstic enjoyed a strong performance against his former team, but a dynamic display of 20 points and 9 assists from Milos Teodosic allowed the hosts to recover and win by 5 to be sure of a playoff place. Nizhny Novgorod got back into winning ways with an entertaining victory over Laboral Kucha, scoring 32 points in the final quarter, as Trey Tompkins finished with 22 points and Gal Mekel with 20 and 7 assists. EA7 Milan was inspired by 23 points from Alessandro Gentile to hold off the spirited challenge of Unicaja Malaga. A 3-way tie at the top of the group sets up a fascinating final few weeks, with 4 teams separated by just 1 game in the battle for 4th.
The worst roommate will be the one that snores the loudest. Luckily, my roommate is not like that. Marcelinho is pretty quiet. But in the past, in other teams, I had some roommates that I had to change because I couldn't stand the way they were snoring.
It depends. When we sleep, if the guy makes a lot of noise and I cannot sleep, I would hate to be with him. But for the moment, I have no problem with that.
I don't have a room. It goes worse for me because I have a time with my roomie Rebic, Nikola Rebic, and he's the best room.
It's Mađarić because he snores all the time. Maybe tennis.
Ooh, that's a little pressure for me. But I gotta say Carlos Suarez. He snores like an hippopotamus, like an elephant. He's snoring a lot.
My roommate, he's sitting here, Vola. There's no reason why. He's just not a great roommate.
Everybody's practicing really hard.
Nikos Papa.
Bruno.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Me.
Saying that Laboral Kucha Victoria big man Kim Tilly comes from a sporting family is an enormous understatement. His father, Laurent, now coaches the French national volleyball team after an outstanding professional career. And with his mother, Caroline, also a Dutch Olympic volleyball player, it's no surprise to learn which sport dominated the Tilly household during his younger years.
Both my parents played volleyball professionally. So I grew up, being in the gym almost every day. Every weekends we had games. Either my mom was playing or my dad was playing, and so yeah, we grew up around volleyball.
His father was particularly successful, making a record 406 appearances at international level.
It was a record in France of selections with the national team, and so yeah, he had a really nice career.
Kim admits that to an extent he grew up in Laurent's shadow.
It's true that I was always the son of my dad, growing up, everybody knew what he was doing and what he did in his career.
Despite his formidable background in volleyball, however, Kim has a surprising revelation.
I have never played volleyball. I started playing soccer because, you know, in school all my friends played soccer, so I started playing soccer, and then at the age of 10 I was already too tall to play soccer, so then in our new city where we lived in the south of France, they didn't have a volleyball club or anything, so I started playing basketball, and yeah, I never stopped.
Kim wasn't the only member of his family to make the break from volleyball, because his two younger brothers also joined him in taking up basketball, a decision which at first didn't go down too well with his mother.
She tried to make us join clubs when we were like 15, 14, but we liked basketball too much, me and my brothers, and well, she managed to switch I have two younger brothers, and my middle one, he switched to volleyball when he was 14, 15, so she converted 1 out of 3. Plays professional in Turkey, and he's on the national team, so he's doing pretty well with volleyball.
Like Kim, though, his youngest brother Kylian stayed with basketball and is now starting to make a major name for himself in the sport.
He was playing volleyball and basketball until last year, and now only basketball. He was MVP of the European Championship, under 16, so he's doing pretty good.
With 3 sons all enjoying great success in their chosen sports, but all living in different countries, the Tilly parents now have quite a tough task in keeping up with their boys' exploits.
It's a full-time job for my mom. She's at home with 3 computers, TVs to watch all our games at the same time, and it's great. I mean, it's easier now with the internet, and everything is on there, so we can follow each other and watch all our games. Now even my dad texts me advice about what to do in the games and stuff like that, but mostly mental preparation and things like this, because it's really similar how to prepare for games and be mentally ready, you know. And he's had lots of experience. He played professional until he's 38 years old or something, so he knows a lot about professional sports.
And with Kim and Kylian having chosen to pursue careers in basketball, hoops are even starting to catch up with volleyball in the Tilly family.
But it's still 3 against 2, so I don't know who else we need. Maybe our sons.
All fans remember title-winning shots and end-of-game buzzer beaters, but certain plays made earlier in a game, or even in a season, can spark entire championship runs. That was true of one spectacular moment of Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv's unexpected rise to the Turkish Airlines Euroleague title in 2014.
It was a big playoff game. It was our first game of the playoffs, and it was a play that I think really swung the momentum for us in overtime to help us get the win.
Before that playoffs opener on the road against EA7 Emporio Armani Milan, Maccabi was not considered a favourite to lift the trophy, but a huge fourth-quarter comeback sent that game to overtime, where Maccabi took the upper hand when Tyus rose to the heavens to detonate a memorable alley-oop dunk.
Mainly it's the point guard's read. When he comes off, he watches how the big plays him, and he looks to see the weak side help. And if the help is on the shooter in the corner and the big steps up, usually that's our signal to throw the lob.
Alley-oops often look so good that they appear easy, but as a master of the art form, Tyus knows that they are a rare combination of hard work and intuition.
It's a feeling. And understanding and trusting that I'm going to catch the ball no matter what. I think that was one of the biggest obstacles that we had to get over. But The guys on my team know I can jump really high and finish, so I think that they started to trust me, and we were able to make a lot of offensive plays from that.
This time, however, Tyus outdid himself, rising near the rafters with a defender backing under him to snare the pass with one hand and slam it with style.
Those kind of plays definitely get you going, definitely give you more energy and more excitement and that extra adrenaline rush to do other things and help the team win.
Indeed, Maccabi went on to win that game and the series, and then returned to Milan for 2 more dramatic victories and the Euroleague title. But it all started on the same floor 1 month earlier. After Tyus made that a show of force that could not be ignored, everything changed for him and Maccabi.
Oh, it's a great feeling to make a big play, a play that possibly can somewhat determine the outcome of a game, get the whole team involved and the crowd involved to give us an extra energy and push to win. And it feels good that I can make those type of plays that not a lot of guys can make.
Ante Tomic continued his annual top 16 dominance by leading FC Barcelona to an 89-71 victory over defending champion Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv. The Barcelona centre posted 16 points on perfect shooting, plus 12 rebounds and 6 assists, to rack up a performance index rating of 35, which earned him BWin MVP honours for top 16, round 10. This marks the 2nd time this season and the 5th time in the past 3 seasons in which Tomic has been MVP of the week in the top 16. Tomic was the central factor in the game, making 4 of 4 2-point shots and 8 of 8 free throws. He also recorded 1 steal and drew 7 fouls. Now let's check out the top 5 plays of the week.
Number 5, Moscow, Russia. Matt Janning appears to have a route to the basket for Efes, but Kyle Hines races back to deny him. A perfectly timed jump and a great block. Number 4, Kaunas, Lithuania. DeMarcus Nelson steals the ball for Panathinaikos and keeps his composure, sends up the pass for Gani Lawal. An easy alley-oop slam. Great play from DeMarcus Nelson, gaining possession for his team. Always looking up, sees the pass, and delivers it high to Gani Lawal. Number 3, Istanbul, Turkey. Crvena Zvezda on the fast break. Nikola Kalinic going high, but Patrick Young leaping with explosive power to swat the ball away. Number 2, Piraeus, Greece. Olympiacos have possession. Tremel Darden finds the pass. Brian Dunstan needs no second invitation to destroy the rim with a brutal dunk. It's Brian Dunstan. Number 1 play of the week in Madrid, Spain, the final stages of a big win. Facundo Campazzo for Real Madrid gets the ball, great dribble, great pass. Andres Nocioni finishes it off. It's all about Facundo Campazzo on the night that Real Madrid qualified for the playoffs. Gets possession, great dribble, behind the back pass, Nocioni finishes.
The race for the playoffs enters the final straight as Top 16 Round 11 presents a game of the week between 2 teams battling hard for a place in the next round, while several superpowers continue their push for home court advantage in the next round. In Super Tight Group F, Anadolu Efes Istanbul hosts the game of the week against free-scoring Nizhny Novgorod, with one of this season's breakout performers, Dario Saric, aiming to continue his outstanding campaign against another, Taylor Rochesty. At the top of the group, Olympiacos Piraeus and the evergreen Vasilis Panoulis return to the scene of their first defeat this season to visit Laboral Cucha Vitoria and its home veteran leader Fernando Sanemeterio in what is another crucial encounter for the hosts. CSKA Moscow and season-long Euroleague assist leader Milos Teodosic takes to the road to challenge for a higher top 16 finish on the court of Never Say Die Unicaja Malaga. And its offensive rebounding pace setter, Carlos Suarez. Group F's remaining fixture will see Fenerbahce Ulker Istanbul on the brink of a playoff qualification too, as it hosts a visit from EA7 Emporio Armani Milan. In Group E, reigning champs Maccabi Electra Tel Aviv and do-it-all Devin Smith aim to punch a ticket to the next round against their veteran visitors from Žalgiris Kaunas. Led by Rock'em and Sock'em centre Robertas Javtokas, playoff qualified Real Madrid and the incandescent Sergio Rodriguez keep shooting for a first-place finish as they visit Panathinaikos Athens and high-flying James Gist in a showdown that could really help position the Greens to advance as well. Group E's remaining contest shows one playoff hopeful Alba Berlin hosting Galatasaray Live Hospital Istanbul, while another FC Barcelona hits the road to take on Crvena Zvezda Telekom Belgrade. We'll see you next week for more Euroleague action.